What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a pretty fun story that was sent in to me by a guy who got to absolutely roast a Karen who attempted to scam him out of money for his business. I thought it was a very entertaining story time. Thought you guys would enjoy it too. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright, so the person who sent this in to me owns their own car wash company. This is something that they've done because they just got bored. They retired pretty young, they're like in their late 40s, and they've always loved cars, so they ended up getting one of those things to pull around, and they have like the car wash services where they go to people and wash the car. And it's not like he has to do it, it's just a situation where he's kind of bored and wants something to do during the day. And because he's like run businesses before, he's very organized about it, he just wants it to be very easy to hand over at tax season to an accountant. And he has lists of customers and he tracks every time he washes their car. He knows what type of car they have. He knows how far it is from where he lives. And just so that way it's easy to keep track of like, all right, this customer is a very loyal customer, so I'm going to prioritize this. Or like this person lives far away, so I need to be able to leave my house at this time if I'm going to get there by this time. And basically, if you got your car washed by this guy, at some point he had made note of it somewhere in order to like organize his files better. He was a very organized guy. And one day he gets a call from a number he doesn't recognize, and he picks it up and it's a lady asking if she can schedule a car wash. And that's not unusual, it happened all the time. So he asks for the address, she gives it to him, they book a time, and he just puts it in his calendar as an appointment he's going to. So he goes, he cleans the car, and he leaves, he gets paid, and that's the last time he sees that car. Like I said, every time he would wash a car, like he would save a customer in his contacts, so if they called again, it wouldn't pop up as a random number. He had a system for it, so if he would have washed that car again, there would have been a note of it somewhere. And he kind of forgets about it because he just doesn't ever go wash the car again. It's not like he's sitting there thinking about it every single day. And 5 months later, he gets a call from that customer. And he's a little bit confused because he doesn't really know who he is. He has to go look. He sees it's a lady he hasn't washed the car for 5 months on. So he answers the call and is like, hello? And this lady had gone from person who just needed their car washed to full-on Karen, screaming over the phone that he was an idiot who had damaged her car and he was going to owe her all of this money. And he had never had anyone go off on him over the phone before because he just never had a situation where a customer had a reason to be upset, and he's really confused on how he damaged this car. So she's screaming that he damaged the car and he's gonna owe her all this money, and he very calmly tries to ask her, like, ma'am, no offense, but I cleaned your car 5 months ago. What did I do? Like, how did I damage your car? If I did damage your car, why did you wait 5 months? I'm very confused. And instead of even explaining the damage to the car or how she knew somehow that this guy washing the car broke the car, she just starts arguing with him, doing the age-old Karen tactic of like trying to force the business owner to agree with you. And she says, well, are you calling me a liar? I know you damaged my car, and if you're gonna disagree, then that means you think I'm a liar. And he just very calmly is like, well, if that's how it's going to go, then yes, I am calling you a liar because I'm very confident that I didn't damage your car. And she kind of stammers for a bit, and she's like, what do you mean? How do you know? And he says that he keeps a chart of every single time he cleans the car. And he had washed her car one time 5 months ago. So there's no way that he damaged the car because they had walked around it and looked at everything together. There had been no mention of any damage. And on top of it, there's no way that if he did damage it, she would have waited 5 months and then been able to say that, like, he caused it. I don't know. It just seems weird. And she decides to try to spin it at that point and goes, well, it wasn't you, it was one of your employees. And as soon as she says that, his brain clicks. Oh, she's trying to scam me. She's trying to get money out of me. She's just making stuff up. Because there's one problem with saying it was an employee that had done this. Remember, this was just something he did during the day to keep him entertained. It wasn't like some huge business venture he's trying to grow. There is no employees. There is no other truck rolling around doing this. There is nobody else that it could have been. So there's no other way that anyone from his business could have gone and damaged the car. And even then, if he keeps record of every car that is washed, if he did have an employee, it would still be on the record book that it's been cleaned more than once. So he just decides to see how committed she is to trying to scam him, you know? He's like, maybe I'll give her a chance to realize she's confused. Maybe she has me confused with a different car wash, whatever. And so he says, oh, if it was an employee that did it, man, that's all you had to say. So go ahead and describe the employee to me so I can ask him what happened and we can get this solved for you. And she kind of goes quiet on the other end of the line, almost like she didn't think that was going to work, and now she's trying to think of how she's going to make up what employee did this. And at that point, she could have just been like, never mind, and hung up, right? But she's so committed to trying to somehow get money out of this guy that washed her car 5 months ago for damage that didn't happen, that she starts thinking and then starts to describe an employee that does not exist. There is no employee. There is no one else that works for this dude. But she starts to say that the guy came out in a truck that was branded with their logo on the side. His truck doesn't even have the logo on the side, so that's just completely made up. Anyways, she starts making up this story about how this truck pulled up, it had the logo on the side, and this guy got out, and he was about 5'6", and he had a Scottish accent because he was from Scotland. He was like new to the country, and he had just gotten a job washing cars, apparently. And he was very rude, very condescending, and of course he starts washing the car, and it just looked like he's doing it wrong. And when she said he was doing it wrong, he got so angry that he started hitting the car, and now the car just has dents all along the side. And the guy is just listening to this like, there is no employee. There's no one with a Scottish accent. In fact, the guy who owns the company is super confused because he's not from, like, America originally. He's from Estonia, and he's 6'7", so very different than a 5'6" Scottish man. I just feel like those are two very different things. You can't get those confused very well. And so he lets her go on this story, and she's rambling for a while about how he was so rude and so condescending, and she just can't believe how much damage was done to her car. It almost looks like she got in a car accident. Wow, it's almost like she got in a car accident and then went, crap, I have no money to fix this. Let me think about everyone that's touched my car and try to call them and blame them for it. So, whatever, he starts explaining that, like, I don't know who you talk to, but I have no employees. So, the entire story about one of my employees coming out, that's just not true. So, if that's really all you have to prove that I was the person who damaged your car or my company did, then I'm sorry, ma'am, but, like, it's not gonna slide. I don't know what you think. I don't know if you're confused with a different company. I don't know if you're making this all up. But either way, it's not gonna work. And she starts screaming at him at that point, getting even angrier, which is not the reaction I feel like you would have if there actually was a Scottish man who came around and damaged your car. You'd probably be like, wait, you actually have nothing to do with the guy who came and damaged my car for real? I don't know, it'd be a little bit more confusion, but she starts screaming that she's going to file a lawsuit against his company if he doesn't give her the money to fix the damages. And I love when Karens do that, as if filing a lawsuit and paying for a lawsuit is just something that's super easy. Like, obviously, their plan is to scare you with the idea of a lawsuit into just giving them what you want, or giving them what they want. You get what I'm saying. But I feel like Karens don't actually think through the process of, like, you have to go out, you got to get a lawyer, you got to pay the lawyer, you got to convince him it's a good case. Most of the time, if it is a really stupid case, they're really not going to tell you it's a stupid case because you're going to pay him hourly. I mean, I'm just saying, if you find a good lawyer, they probably won't waste your time. But let's be honest, if you're trying to sue a guy that didn't damage your car for damages that you did to your car, it's not going to be like the greatest lawyer of all time. So you're going to pay him, they're going to file the lawsuit, it's going to be an entire process, so much money. If you lose, you're going to have to pay the other person's legal bills. I don't know why people throw around lawsuits like they're just super easy, cheap things that anyone can do all the time. And on top of it, he just didn't damage the car. Like, I don't know, man. It's one thing to sue somebody if they really deserve it, but I feel like you have to be a really angry person on the inside to just sue someone that did nothing to you because you're just mad that your car got damaged. But this guy's really not afraid of it, you know? He retired young, he's got a little bit of cash in the bank, and he's not going to be intimidated by this lady. So if she really wants to play the lawsuit game, he's fine with that. Plus, his brother, who lived in the same town as him, was a lawyer. So he really wasn't sweating it. If he explained to his lawyer that this lady's trying to, like, extort money out of him, he probably would have helped. So he just, like, says, okay, you know what? If you're so confident that I damaged your car and you want to file a lawsuit, then go ahead and sue me. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm only going to talk to your legal representative. representative. I don't know. I had difficulty with that word. Excuse me, guys. And as soon as he says, okay, go ahead and sue me, like, let's play it out in court then, she starts backpedaling and says, well, we don't need to file a lawsuit. There doesn't need to be a court battle. Like, you could just give me the money and then I could get it fixed. There's no reason for us to get into the legality. And now he's just getting pissed off because she's just trying to scam him. She's trying to scare him. She's trying to, like, intimidate him into just giving the money. So he just starts going off. He's like, you really thought you were going to be able to scam me, huh? You thought you were going to be able to scam me? You wanted to scam someone that you met once 5 months ago that did you a favor and washed your car? And on top of it, not only were you trying to scam someone, but you're so stupid you didn't even come up with a good story. You started making up a Scottish guy coming and scamming you like it's, I don't know, St. Patrick's Day and they're after your Lucky Charms. Like, it's clearly something's going on up there where you're just having some issues because you're trying to scam people that have done nothing to you and you're not even taking the time to come up with a story. It's insulting. And she starts trying to defend herself back, being like, it was your employee. I know it's your employee. And I feel like that's some next level commitment, you know, when you're trying to gaslight someone into imagining an employee that they don't have. You would have to be doing a Jedi mind trick for that to work, to literally be so good at convincing people of things that aren't real, that like you get someone to think that they have an employee that they've never had. Oh yeah, I am paying that guy a salary every month. Like, that's nuts. That is some serious insanity if you're able to pull that off. But that just makes the guy that was washing the cars even angrier, because now she's like really trying to make him think he's crazy and committing to there actually being an employee. So he starts going off about how absurd this was, and she must have like felt good about herself that she just walked around trying to scam small business owners by threatening them with lawsuits. And he starts being like, do you do this often? Like, is this how you pay the bills? And she's just silent. She's not saying anything. And he kind of took that as a yes. It was never confirmed. It's not like she would say this, but just basing it off the fact that she really thought this was gonna work and was flabbergasted it's not. I feel like she's done this a couple times, just managed to like extort some small business owner because he's like, I don't know, maybe my employee did fart when he was changing your HVAC unit. But he's still just going off about how like he couldn't believe that she was trying to scam people. And listen, man, I feel like just it's taking people's money is just the worst way to get money. I would literally rather someone be a multi-billionaire telemarketer than like a Bernie Madoff scamming. Like, I just feel like scamming is wrong, especially like a small business owner like this. It's always wrong. But like, come on, man. You're gonna go after some guy that's got a car washing business because you got in a car accident? Come on. But after just going off on her for a while, roasting her, she just hangs up, right? Probably the best move. It's not like he was gonna back down. I'm surprised she stayed on the phone as long as she did. Like, just really sat there and just listening to him roasting her. Probably didn't know what to do, thought that maybe he was gonna be like, but you're right, I'll give you the money. She probably hung up and then started looking for other businesses that touched her car. She's like, wait, where did I go get my oil changed? But what makes it even better is he eventually expected like another call, you know, asking for just a little bit of money to fix a little bit of the damage, maybe like a fake call threatening another lawsuit or whatever. But another call never came and a lawsuit never appeared. I wonder if she went and looked into it, found out how expensive lawyers are, and was like, okay, it's really not worth the trouble, forget it. That's probably what ended up happening. Either that or she just kept calling businesses until it worked. This just happened to be someone that she actually was a client of. Do you think she just kept calling car washes until someone said, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry? I just feel like there's so much strategy that she had going into it. You know, the fake lawsuit, just immediately pivoting, shifting. That was not her first rodeo, ladies and gentlemen, so be on the lookout out there. Also, just surprising that people pay that little attention, you know, that like you could theoretically make up an employee and someone would be like, oh, I can't believe they did that. How little attention are you paying to what's going on in your business if you have no clue what employees are doing what or if they even exist? I guess some companies just get so big that, like, you know, there's so many employees, there's no way for the customer service people to keep track of it. But in this situation, you happen to pick on a business where there is one guy. It's very hard to blame the other employees if there is no other employees. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. I know this one's a little bit shorter than normal, but I thought it was funny. So if you enjoyed, be sure to press the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. And of course, subscribe if you're new. Turn on those notifications. If you like the story time, but you'd rather listen to the audio version, I do post them on Spotify as a podcast. Feel free to go check it out, link down below. And yeah, on that note, that'll do it. Don't roast the customers unless they're trying to scam you, okay? The customer's always right until they're trying to take your money. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.